built a pretty impressive physique in just 2 years, and I quickly realized that the results that I got are pretty unusual, and that most people that go to the gym don't actually see the results that they want. And I think the simple reason why, and the simple thing that separates people kind of like me that get results and that get jacked in the gym, and most people that don't really see any results or don't really make the changes that they want to make to their physique, is simply the difference between having a plan and not having a plan. I think the people that actually get the gains that they want, the, that actually make the changes that they want to their physique, are the people that have a plan, that have a clear routine and plan, that they know, okay, I need to follow this, I need to do this today, and tomorrow I need to do this, and then the day afterwards I need to do this. But the people that don't really see the results that they want are the people that kind of just follow random workouts. Just do whatever they feel like doing. They just go into the gym, do some random things, and then go out. And I used to do this actually. In the past, I would follow some random YouTube videos. When I first started kind of training, before I actually started taking bodybuilding and training seriously, I would just follow some random YouTube videos. I'd follow along YouTube videos with some cool music in the background. I thought those workouts were getting me jacked because of people showing those workouts look pretty jacked. Not realizing that most people, most of them, pretty much all of them, that did those follow along videos on YouTube, that they weren't even doing those workouts to get jacked in the first place. And I was just wasting my time. Every day I would just find a new video, watch it, do it, follow along, and expect to get jacked the next morning. But that wasn't the case. And when I started actually making some insane progress, it's simply when I started having a plan, having a clear routine that I was following, a clear program that I was following. And it was pretty simple in the beginning. In the beginning, I just did 5 sets of push-up every day. 5 sets of push-up every single day. Just 5 sets, push-ups to failure. And it was very simple. But even that, even just that simple routine got me 1,000 times more gains than doing those follow along, just random workouts, doing whatever I wanted to do every day. Because now I had this clear plan and I could aim to progress, aim to do things better, aim to progressively overload, because I didn't do some random exercise every day. I just did the same exercise, and it was very easy for me to just come in next day and aim to do something better. And my chest, shoulders, triceps, they got bigger from that. And when I started having an even better plan, because that plan wasn't necessarily the best, but when I started having an even better plan, started following like a split, having different exercises that I was doing, my gains absolutely skyrocketed until I reached the level that I'm at now. And yeah, in this video I just want to teach you how you can kind of create your own plan, because I think that's one of the most important things, one of the first things that you need to do to actually see the results that you want to get. So the first thing, just choosing a split. It can be like a push-pull leg, an upper lower, full body split. But you first need to choose like a split that you're going to follow. For me personally, I follow like a push-pull leg split. It's just one of the most basic splits you can do. It's just fun to do, and it allows me to kind of train very frequently. So I go to the gym, I do strength training 5 times per week. So I'm doing basically push-pull legs, and I do kind of a rest day. But on that rest day, I still kind of do martial arts, still do some kickboxing. I just shadow box in my room, and then I do push-pull legs again. Then I take another rest day. So I don't follow like a weekly split, but it's more like an 8-day split. So basically, let's just take an example. The workout that I did yesterday was Sunday, and the workout I did yesterday was a leg workout. But the week before that, I did a leg workout on Saturday. So you kind of understand what I mean. It's like an 8-day split. It kind of gets pushed forward each time, every week, you'd say. But I still have a clear plan. You don't have to have like a weekly split every time. You can have an 8-day, 10-day split if you want. But at the start, I would recommend to have like just a weekly split. I think it's better to kind of start becoming consistent in the gym when you have like a clear weekly workout. Just know, okay, every Monday I do this, every Tuesday I do this, every Wednesday I do this. But you can follow like a push-pull leg. I think the first split that I followed was like kind of a variation of a push-pull leg split, but I was training like 6 times per week. Oh no, it wasn't upper lower, but I did it like 3 times per week. So I did Monday upper, Tuesday lower, Wednesday upper, Thursday lower, Friday upper, Saturday lower, and then Sunday I kind of just did cardio like that. It wasn't necessarily the best split, but it still got me some good gains. Especially as a beginner, a split with like more frequency, where you train like 3 times per week, can work really, really well because you have a better ability to actually recover from higher volume, higher frequency. I could still do that split now, but I would probably need to make some changes to make it work to that upper lower 3 times per week split. But I think a better way to do upper lower, follow like an upper lower split, is maybe do upper lower but 3 times per week. So you do upper lower, rest, upper lower, and then maybe you add an arm day into that to get more gains into your arms. You can also follow a full body split, but if you follow like a full body split, I would recommend to maybe train 2 times or maybe 3 times per week. Training 1 time per week, it can work, but it's not necessarily the most effective way to go about it. I think most studies scientifically showed that training each muscle group at least 2 times per week is kind of the most effective way to do things. But if you don't have time and you just have one day in a week where you're really free to training just 1 time per week could work really, really well for you. But if you follow like full body, you could actually go up to 3 times per week if you wanted to. It would actually be possible, and it could probably get you some slightly better results, especially as a beginner, to follow full body 3 times per week. But yeah, whatever split you choose, as long as it allows you to train each muscle group 3 times per week, it will get you some good gains. There's some small differences to each split, but as long as you don't follow like a bro split and you just train each muscle group once per week, as long as you train each muscle group 2 times per week, the difference in gains that you're gonna make from for example, upper lower in comparison to push pull legs is like pretty much insignificant. So just choose a split that allows you to train each muscle group at least 2 times per week. And then exercise selection, I would just recommend you simply train each muscle group in your body. Don't make the same mistakes that I did as a beginner. Not training your bicep. Like that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made in my life. I did push-ups in my room, I did pull-ups, and I heard this kind of myth that people just started spreading around on YouTube that you could grow big biceps with only chin-ups. And yeah, I started just doing chin-ups, never did bicep curl. I had dumbbells in my room, but I would never do isolation exercise for my biceps. And a few months in, I'm noticing, okay, my back is bigger, my chest is bigger, my shoulders are bigger, my triceps are kind of bigger, but my biceps are really, really lacking. So, even my legs, I didn't really train my legs much, so my legs were also really, really lacking. And I had a lot of catching up to do. Still, even now, I'm still plagued with kind of, my biceps are getting bigger, but they're not really my best body part. And I think having your bicep as one of your best body part is a really cool thing to do, to have, kind of. It's a privilege that if you have a chance, be proud of yourself. But my biceps are still pretty good, but I had a lot of catching up to do. I had a lot of work to do later on. So I was kind of haunted by the mistakes of my past, basically, because I didn't really train my biceps in the past. Even when it comes to legs, my legs kind of are not one of my best body parts. But in the beginning, I didn't really train them. And as a beginner, it's easy to have this mindset of, oh yeah, I don't really care. I just want to have a six-pack and pretty big arms. I don't really care about legs. I don't really care about biceps or forearms. But just have the humility and realize that probably a few years in, when you've been training for a few months or years, you might actually regret your decision and look back and hate yourself, hate your younger self for not providing you with big biceps or big calves or big legs. Don't make that mistake. Learn to love to train every part of your body. Learn to love to train legs. I know a lot of people just like to skip legs, train legs. Personally, I might sound like a psychopath, but training legs is leg day is my favorite day of the week, to be completely honest. I just love training legs personally. But in the past, I hated to do it. I hated to train legs. But just find exercise that you like. Do training a certain way. I think just doing it repetitively over months and months and months, even though you hate it, will make you love it over time. But just kind of visualize yourself in the future with big shoulders, big pecs, maybe big arms as well. And then when you pull on your shorts, and you may be naked, you see that you have like tiny legs. and it just makes you look weird, like an alien, where you have a big upper body. Because especially when you have some parts of your body that are really muscular and big, but you have others that haven't grown to the same extent, it actually makes you look weirder than if you just were skinny, but didn't have those weird imbalances that you now have. So don't make that mistake. Don't regret that. Train every part of your body, and having around 1 to 2 exercises per muscle group, I think it's a good standard. 1 to 2 exercises per muscle group for each kind of workout that you do. For example, the workout I did yesterday was a leg workout. I did 2 exercises for quads. So I did my first exercise I did was the Smith machine squat, just a basic Smith machine squat. And then the second exercise that I did for my quads was just the sissy squat, weighted sissy squats, where you just kind of hold the thing and then push your hips forward and then you drop down with your knees, and then it's kind of complicated, but just look for sissy squats on YouTube. And yeah, those were the 2 exercises I did for my quads. And then for my hamstrings, I did also the 2 exercises. So I did Romanian deadlift, so stiff leg deadlift, and then I did seated leg curl. And then for my calves, I did 1 exercise. But I think 1 to 2 exercises per muscle group is a good range. You could maybe sometimes do 3 exercises for a muscle group, but I think most of the time it's not really necessary. I think true for especially big muscle groups that have different functions is important. For example, I think for chest and for quads, it might be a good idea to do exercises at least, because those are two really big muscle groups that perform kind of different, that are engaging different, you could say, movement patterns. You could say quads, back, chest. I think that's it. Those were the 3 muscle groups, so I actually do 2 exercises for them. But then when it comes to smaller muscle groups like biceps, I would only do 1 exercise, but I would really train it hard. Or calves, same thing. Or forearms, it's a really small muscle group. Having 2 exercises, you could have 2 exercises for it. I don't necessarily think it's necessary. But for some big muscle group like the back, I even do 3 exercises for my back, but I do kind of 2 compounds and then 1 for I do shrugs for my traps. So I do 3 for my back because it's a really, really big muscle group. For my quad, I do 2. For my chest, I do 2 as well. Because for chest, yeah, if you could get away with only doing 1, but I think 2 can sometimes be better. And make sure when you choose 2 exercises for a muscle group, make sure those 2 exercises kind of hit that muscle group differently. That they kind of bias a different part of that muscle group. For example, for my, let's say the example of quads again. I did Smith machine squat, a sissy squat. If I did, for example, a Smith machine squat and then I went to leg press, yeah, I could do that, but why? Why not just do more sets of maybe leg press or more sets of Smith machine squat? Because both movements kind of hit my quads in the exact same way. So just going from Smith machine squat to leg press, I could do that, it could work, but I don't really see the reason why. But when I go from Smith machine squat and then do sissy squats, it's actually a good idea, because the sissy squat is an isolation exercise for my quads, and they bias different part of my quads. They bias the the rectus femoris, a part that isn't really hit that well from the Smith machine squat. So it's actually effective. There's actually a point to doing 2 exercises for my quads. But if going from Smith machine squat to leg press isn't necessarily a smart idea, because it's like, why do that? You could do that, but why? Why not just do more sets of Smith machine squat? Or let me just take an example for chest. If I did flat bench press and then I went to chest press, just flat chest press, the machine exercise, chest press, I could do that, but why? Both bias kind of the lower part of my chest. So why do that? But what I'll do 2 exercises for my chest. For example, for my first chest day, I do the incline barbell press, and then I go to, I think, chest press. Yeah, incline barbell press, and then I do chest press. Oh no. My first push day, I do incline barbell press, and then I do dips, because the incline barbell press actually biases my upper chest, and then dips biases my lower chest. So it actually makes sense to switch from incline barbell press and then go to dips, because they hit different parts of my chest. But if I did 2 exercises that hit that buys the exact same part of my chest, it actually makes no real sense doing that. And then the last thing, I'm just going to quickly talk about volume. I think for me personally, I'm currently doing about between 12 and 20 sets per session. It's actually fairly high volume now. But in the past, just a few months ago, I would do like 8 to 10 sets per session. So I actually doubled my training volume over the last few months, because in the past I used to do like fairly low volume. I think, in my personal opinion, doing anywhere between 2 to 5 sets per exercise is a good range, you could say. Sometimes you can even do 1. But I think doing 6, I've never actually heard of someone who's actually jacked doing 6 sets for an exercise. But you could do that. I'm not saying that it's impossible. You could do that. But yeah, anywhere between, when it comes to sets per muscle group per week, I would say anywhere from 4 to maybe 10 is a good range. Sets per muscle group per week, or 4 to 12. I think it's really up to experimentation. You experiment. Start with lower volume and slowly increase it. Slowly increase your volume over weeks and months and months. And when you get to a point where you kind of are still able to recover from the volume that you're doing, where you're kind of able to recover from it well, but still you think that if you added more volume, you wouldn't be able to. I think that's a good range to be in. So that's the range I'm kind of in right now. I'm able to recover well, and when I'm hitting the same muscle group again, I'm always fresh by that day. I'm able to progress and everything, but I still get sore from time to time. So right now, I think I'm at kind of the limit of the amount of volume that I could do. I think I could maybe do a little bit more, but right now I don't really feel like it, to be honest. But when it comes to volume, it really depends. It really depends. You could get away with low volume like I did in the past, but if you notice that you never really encounter a problem with recovery, and that you think, okay, I never really get sore, I never really feel tired, like after a bad day I could do like 10 pull-ups directly afterwards, then you could probably do a little bit more volume, to be honest. But more doesn't always mean more. More isn't always better when it comes to volume. Sometimes doing more might actually get you less gains. So if you do more and more volume, and then when you train a muscle group, you're not even able to kind of progress because you aren't fully recovered, that's actually a bad thing, and you don't want that. You want to be able to come in every day, every session, and do a little bit more than you did last week. Do something better, add some reps, add some weight. You want to be able to progress, because progressive overload is still such an important factor. But if you do more volume and you keep adding volume, and then you get to a point where you actually get weaker each session, or you're not able to progress because you're doing too much volume, then you're doing too much and you need to do a little bit less. So yeah, hope this helped you. Hope you found this video valuable. And if you're interested in my free community, just click the first link in the description. And yeah, don't worry from comfort, chase it.